We're back. Welcome to Beyond the Spread. Look, we're down to one football game. Championship weekend was great. The Sunday games were amazing. I thought just quick off the top, we'll talk about a little more. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about some headlines. The next week we'll talk about even more Super Bowl stuff, get even more in depth on the true analysis of the game. But right now, just knee-jerk reactions. I know we're a couple days removed. This comes out tomorrow. I thought the Bills played a clean game. I mean, Patrick Mahomes did Patrick Mahomes stuff, which I think we all expected. I expected it. I told you last episode that it was like, I'm betting the Bills purely based off my heart because I don't want the Chiefs to win. Now, if you guys took that into effect and faded me, that's all you. Congratulations to you. I should have faded myself, but I'm like, I just don't want to see this happen again. We've seen it 4 times in a row. But I was trying to formulate a tweet during that entire game because it's like the Bills looked good in the beginning. They looked a little shaky, like they wanted to come out there and just hit him in the mouth with some big plays, which didn't end up like happening. But I was trying to formulate a tweet. It's like, I respect greatness. I respect Patrick Mahomes and this incredible run he's on. I respect Travis Kelce. It's just annoying seeing it happen. That's just what it is. Like, I want something different. And again, if you put your tinfoil hat on, I've been talking to a couple buddies here and there. It's like, obviously, I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm not saying, it is what it is. I did point out almost the entire season, it's like the first 12 weeks, I think Kansas City covered like once or twice in those entire 12 weeks. In the last like 6 weeks of the season, they turned it on. They're like, okay, we got to get in playoff shape right now. And then you start hammering in the Chiefs bets, and they cover and they cover and they cover. Whatever, it is what it is. But if you put your tinfoil hat on, it's like, oh, one of the greatest tight ends ever to play the game is dating arguably one of the most famous people in the entire world. NFL is like, oh, let's lean into that, Let's see if we can formulate some stuff and put your tinfoil hat on. You're like, oh, well, But again, if that was happening, you should bet with the Chiefs constantly. You should do all these things and make money off the Chiefs or against the Chiefs. However you want to look at it. I don't know. Knee-jerk reaction, but I was trying to formulate a tweet where I respect it. I respect it. It's just annoying. That's just what it is. The more I think about it, it's like, did the Bills play their A+ game? No, I think they played like a B+, A-, where the Chiefs, they played an average A game. But if you want to beat the Chiefs at home in the playoffs, you have to play almost perfect and play that A+ game. And I just don't think the Bills did. Eagles handled business. Again, we'll talk about it a little bit more here in a second. But just knee-jerk reaction, Eagles handling business. Jalen Hurts is ready for the moment again. I think Saquon's going to be exciting to watch in that Super Bowl. I think we're going to talk about a few other things. Just headlines. We're talking basketball. We got some football coaching to talk about. Big boxing match. And then a little college basketball at the end. And we'll do a full circle and come back to the highlights of the game. So yeah, De'Aaron Fox came out today, and he said he wants to be shopped around. He's going to get into a trade, which I kind of respect from De'Aaron Fox. He has been, in Sacramento for years now. I mean, he's become this all-star player. Quickest step I've ever seen in person. The quickest first step I've ever seen in person. The dude's crazy quick. I mean, fast as hell too. And he's got a good jumper. He plays a point guard possession really well. And he's a veteran at this point. Like, he's been around the league for years. He hasn't had the most success. I mean, they had that playoff run last year or the year before. It's like, okay, like you can see them kind of like slowly building and building. But you get DeMar DeRozan this year. It's just not flowing as much as he wants. Sabonis is, a key factor of that entire team. But he said he wanted to go to the Spurs, which I kind of find weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Spurs are a super young team. They have Chris Paul there. I mean, if you get De'Aaron Fox, sure, you can kind of play like, Chris Paul come off the bench, or Chris Paul or De'Aaron Fox play the 2. just one of those things where it's like when I see the Spurs, I don't imagine De'Aaron Fox being there. It's like DeJounte Murray when he was there. He's like you kind of see DeJounte Murray coming to a superstar. And he's like, I want to get out of the Spurs, and it's like, okay, I get it. They're not very good right now, but then he goes to the Hawks. It's like I don't know. I don't like the De'Aaron Fox going to the Spurs look. Now where I want him to go, I truly have no idea because I do like De'Aaron Fox a lot. Off the top of my head, let's just throw out some places. I don't want him going to any LA teams. I don't know. Does he go to like Houston? I don't. Houston wouldn't be a bad fit. I know they don't have, a great point guard there. I don't think, off the top of my head. I've been out of. I'm trying to transition back into the basketball life. It's just escaping right now where everyone's at. First of all, and I don't know who's starting where. I'm trying to get back into it now that we have just the Super Bowl left. So college basketball and NBA skyrocket to the top of my sports news. I don't know. Houston wouldn't be bad. Mavericks, they got Kyrie, all this kind of stuff. I don't know. But the Spurs, I don't see obviously they have Wemby. I know they have Wemby. If you're looking at me like, hey, this dumbass doesn't know that they have Wembanyama, I know they have Wembanyama. But is that the most attractive spot you want to go to as a superstar right now? Do they have cap space? Like, can they obviously NBA cap space is fucking ridiculous. You can pay a guy $45 million a year for 5 years and it's not going to hurt. So yeah, I thought that was weird when I saw Spurs. This is a fishy situation I'm about to talk about. Jimmy Butler suspended indefinitely because they informed him that they weren't going to start him. Now, if you've been keeping up with this saga, like a month or two ago, Shams, the ESPN insider reporter that replaced Woj, he came out and said that Jimmy Butler is going to request a trade. And, Jimmy Butler's agent shut that down. The Heat shut that down. Pat Riley shut it down, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, like, maybe there's a little truth in here. Maybe they just don't want to get it out yet. And then another thing comes out. It's like, oh, Jimmy's, suspended for a couple of games. And now he's suspended indefinitely. So there is something fishy going on. I don't know what it is. I think Jimmy tweeted about it or Jimmy said something to the news. I don't know. I forgot where I read it. But it was like, the truth will come out soon enough. And it's like, ooh, there's some sketchy shit going on in that organization right now, which is very rare for the Miami Heat. Because they are from what I've seen, from what I know, that they seem like a very stand-up organization that they're going to tell you how it is and just go about their business. The Heat culture, right? I mean, Udonis Haslem sat on the bench for an extra 5 years because he believed in Heat culture. So it's like, I'm shocked that this is happening. Some shit must have went down, or Jimmy requested a trade and the organization just shut down. They're like, no, we're not trading you. And Jimmy was like, I want the fuck out of here. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Super, super weird. I'm excited to see how this plays out because trade deadline's coming up. Woj fingers, that kind of shit. I truly don't know. I truly have no idea what's going to happen with it. But Jimmy Butler, does he stay in the East and just kind of fuck around on the Heat? Because hand up, I don't know how the Heat are doing in the NBA right now. I don't know where they're ranked in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to guess in the top 7 at least. They're in the playoffs. If not, should we just check real quick? I mean, I really don't know the standings in the NBA right now. It is hand up, that's on me. I got to be better about it, but it's like I've been so I'm just making excuses at this point. Eastern Conference. Yeah, they're sixth. They're sixth in the Eastern Conference. I know Cavaliers and OKC have been just dominating people. Okay, Pistons. I see you. 500. Okay. Sixers are dead. Oklahoma City. I didn't know Houston was second. I did not know Houston was second in the Western Conference. Grizzlies have been having a good season. I know the Nuggets are right there in the thick of it. Clippers 5. They're I mean, not the Clippers. Lakers. I'm dumb. The Lakers being 5 is huge. Clippers 6. Timberwolves don't really care if they're in. Suns. Okay. Mavs. Kings. Golden State. They're just old now. I think Curry's got a few years left, maybe. Be interesting how that goes. But see, that's what I'm talking about. De'Aaron Fox. Like, you want to go to the San Antonio Spurs when they're 12th in the Western Conference? Sure, you can build some stuff. but it's like, damn, the Jazz suck. My goodness, they suck. I just don't get it. The Lakers being 5 is crazy, and they're gonna go on a run. Look, I'm a LeBron. I'm a LeBron fan. I like the stuff he does on the court. Okay, some of the shit he does, the antics that he does. You know, he flops. Everyone flops in the league now. If you're watching NBA, everyone flops. Maybe besides Jokic. Jokic does flop. I have seen it for myself firsthand. But he takes it on the chin and goes about his business. I get it. I understand why people don't like LeBron, but to diminish his greatness for the last 20 years that he's done is absolutely crazy to me. I remember talking to a guy. I was getting my oil changed at somewhere around here, and we were just talking hoops, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, who's the GOAT? I was like, oh, it's Bron. I truly believe that. This was like a year ago, but it's like I teeter the line sometimes, but I lean Bron. Okay. I'm like, Bron, we have the GOAT conversation while someone's changing my oil, all that kind of shit. And then he's like, give me your top 5. And I gave him my top 5. I was like, give me your top 5. He didn't have Bron in the top 5. He doesn't even have him in the starting lineup. That is crazy to me. Whether you want to say he's 1 or 2, he's a starting 5 player. Get the fuck out of here with that. But speaking of Jokic, Nuggets, I am a Nuggets fan. Where's it at? Right there. Jokic is having a fucking crazy season. We've seen him have crazy seasons before. We've been seeing him having crazy seasons. We've been seeing him put up stats. We've been seeing all these crazy things that he does. I just want to read a couple stats that I've seen recently about some of the shit he's doing. It's unheard of. Nikola Jokic just recorded, this was 4 days ago, recorded the first 30, 20, and 15 game since Wilt Chamberlain in 1968. That is crazy. What show was it that clipped it? It might have been Shaq that said it on NBA and TNT NBA or whatever. He said that we're watching a modern day Wilt Chamberlain. Someone has said this, one of those basketball podcast shows, whatever it was. I mean, we're watching a modern day Wilt Chamberlain. It's crazy the shit that he's doing. He's an animal. I love that he's a Nugget. It's amazing. I think he's going to die a Nugget. I can't wait till they retire his number so we can kind of just throw that smear in Melo's face because he's mad that Jokic is 15 and all that kind of shit. Whatever it is. But Jokic this season, again, this was 4 days ago, averaging 30.2 points per game, more than Shaq ever did, 13.4 rebounds per game, more than Duncan ever did, 10.1 assists per game, most ever by a center, 1.9 steals per game, more than Defensive Player of the Year, Smart, and he is shooting 47.93%, more than Steph ever has. I mean, those kind of numbers aren't just fucking... It's not just like a couple weeks he does this. It is consistently doing this kind of shit. Here's my conversation. Is he worthy of another MVP? Absolutely. He should have won it last year, the year before, whatever that year he got skipped. When I think Joel Embiid won it. He's on track to get his 4th. He really is. I love it. I absolutely love it. As a Denver fan, it's like put some fucking respect on Jokic's name. Everyone's afraid of him. No one wants to play him because he's a fucking menace. Now, on the defensive side, yeah, you can point out all the glaring weaknesses he has. He's not a rim protector, all this kind of stuff. He's got great hands. He's averaging almost 2 steals a game as a center, which is crazy. I want championships. That's my big thing. He can have all the fucking MVPs he wants. You got to get the rings. You got to get the team rings. That's where I stand. Don't get me wrong. Arguably at this point, you can make the case that he is the greatest center to ever play the game. In the modern day, now is he going to get bullied by Shaq? Yeah, but he's going to go right back at Shaq on the offensive side. So you can make the case. You could easily make the case. He's not just a pillow you can move around either. He's sturdy down there in the center. Now, MVP for sure. Again, it'd be amazing to see him get it. I know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is up for the conversation. I know Tatum's kind of in the conversation right now, which, whatever. Donovan Mitchell. I mean, great players, right? I just don't know how you look at Jokic. And again, this is the fatigue award. I mean, back in the day when Bron was in Cleveland and even in Miami, it's like he could have won it every single year. Now, is Jokic going to win it every single year? With these stats, if he continues with these, he's going to. It just gets to the point where everyone, it's like watching the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. You know it's going to happen every year, and you just can't do anything about it. It's kind of the same thing with the Jokic and NBA MVP. I mean, you can even relate it to Lamar Jackson. Like, he's probably going to win it this year because he had stupid numbers, and he had better numbers this year than he did last year. But it's like, oh, but Josh Allen had these numbers, or Saquon put up these numbers, all that kind of shit. So it relates back to that. The MVP becomes a fatigue stat to voters and writers, whoever votes on the MVP. It's like, oh, well, he won it last year, or he won it the last 2 years. Let's try to find someone else. It's kind of shit like that. But I'll get off my soapbox on that one. Let's transition to this dumb shit that actually, you know what? We're going to talk a little college basketball. The SEC right now, again, I'm transitioning into basketball. I'm trying to get more versed in it. I don't know who's good. I know Auburn's good. I know Duke's good. Oregon's good. Florida, Texas A&M. I mean, the SEC, there was something that came across my timeline. It was Alabama's schedule. Alabama plays the most ridiculous schedule in the next 6 weeks. It is ridiculous. Everyone that they're playing in the next 6 to 7 weeks is ranked in the top 25. Maybe even the lowest seed I saw was seed 17. And Bama's 4 in the country right now. The SEC is an absolute gauntlet. The games that these teams are going to have to play are going to come down to the fucking wire. And it's crazy. I saw Jay Billis quoted it today. He said that whoever's going to win the SEC this year is more impressive than whoever wins the tournament this year, which is crazy from Jay Billis to say because he is the college basketball, guru. I love listening to Jay Billis on the call. But to say that kind of stuff, it's crazy because anything can happen in March. Anything can happen in March. So, shout out to Jay Billis, I guess. He said whoever wins the SEC this year is going to be more impressive than who wins the tournament. Crazy. I mean, I don't know. I legitimately don't know. I don't know. Let's just look at the standings real quick. Auburn 1, Duke 2, Iowa State 3, Bama 4, Florida 5, 6 Houston, 7 Michigan State, 8 Tennessee. Tennessee was cooking there for a few weeks in the beginning of the season. I know Tennessee was at the top of the leaderboard for a long time. Marquette's in it. UConn, number 25. Dan Hurley. He's got a new roster on his hand. He doesn't have as many vets or, experienced transfer portal players, but they're top 25. I don't know if they're going to three-peat, but they have. I'm never going to put it out of Dan Hurley's fucking thing. Okay, Dan Hurley is a great coach, and he's always going to get great players to that team. Last thing before we transition back to football, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm letting it digest, but at the end of March, Logan Paul and Jake Paul are fighting. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. It's take a step back. It's super cool. These guys are fucking businessmen at their heart of hearts. They're smart businessmen. They know it's going to draw numbers. I don't know if this draws numbers. You know who this draws numbers for? The YouTube community. I love YouTube, but it's like when you think big fight like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, you have celebrity row try to watch Mike Tyson fight. Maybe not A-list celebrities, but you recognize some important people at that fight. Just, it's a big thing. Don't get me wrong. Both brothers are huge businessmen, made a shit ton of money, boxing, whatever you want to talk about, YouTube, fucking starting businesses, all that kind of stuff. This just doesn't scream grab to me. I think it is a money grab. I really do. Obviously, when we watch the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, it's like, all right, they were kind of just sparring out there, and we didn't want to see anything. We didn't want to see Mike Tyson get his shit rocked. It'd be cool if he would have rocked Jake Paul's, knocked him out, but it never happened. And it was never going to happen because there's probably some clause in their contract that's like, try not to hit the head as much as you can. But this screams like extreme money grab. I I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll probably watch it. I'll probably watch like the first round or so just to kind of feel it out. But the only way that this will do numbers is if one of them gets knocked out. And I mean legitimate numbers. Don't get me wrong. People are going to watch. I'm going to watch. But this is kind of, in my head, this is kind of like the last crusade of like, all right, let's kind of go all in on a Paul versus a Paul brother boxing match and hope that we do crazy numbers and get paid out of this and see what happens. And then they're going to play B. I don't know how you look. Brothers bicker. They argue. I have two brothers. All this kind of stuff. I don't know how you can don't get me wrong. They're both competitive. They're both going to talk a little shit. But it's at the end of the day. I mean, we saw Jake Paul and Mike Tyson at the inauguration for Trump, and Jake Paul had Mike Tyson on his shoulders. It's like, bro, you guys just fought like a month and a half ago, and you guys are buddy. Like, it just screams fake to me. Kind of, it just, I don't know. It screams fake. It screams fake. I hope one of them knocks out or knocks the other out. Then I'm like, oh, so this is legitimate. Like, that's kind of what I want. And I think that's what we all want. We all want to see an actual fight and someone get knocked out or hit to the ground multiple times, not just one to the ground. They're both good actors. They're both good at selling. I mean, Logan Paul's in the WWE. He knows how to sell a hit. He knows how to do all these things. I don't know. Again, I might watch it for like a round or two and just see if anything happens. But this just screams money grab and is what it is. I mean, good for them. They're probably gonna get paid, but I don't see this doing numbers. I really, really don't see this doing numbers. Could be wrong, could be way off basis, but it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know, but get paid. Get paid. Football. Pete Carroll is the Raiders head coach. He's going to be the oldest coach to ever coach a game when he steps onto that field for week 1. It'll be interesting to see how he does it. The rumors are that Tom Brady's pulling a lot of the strings in the Raiders organization, rightfully so. He's, one of the greatest, if not. See what I did there? I already started the conversation between Patty and Tom. Tom beat him twice. Doesn't matter. Tom's pulling all the strings. He's going to build a team that he likes, that he thinks will win. Pete Carroll, I like Pete Carroll. He's just old. He knows how to get shit done, though. AFC West coaching. AFC West is just going to be a gauntlet. We got Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, Pete Carroll. We got Patty. Bo's on the come up. Justin Herbert. So who are the Raiders going to go get? They might go get Shador. They might go get someone else. Who knows? But, I mean, the AFC West is going to be a fucking gauntlet regardless. So, yeah, I like that move. Pete Carroll, I know he knows how to win, and I know he knows how to build a fucking organization and a legitimate team. So that'll be cool to watch. I have no other thoughts on that. I'm kind of skeptical about it just because how old he is, and if he's kind of just lost touch of the locker room. Don't get me wrong, people are gonna buy into it, but it's like the first slip up you see, it's like, get this old man out of here, that kind of stuff. Liam Cohen, former Buccaneers offensive coordinator, head coach of the Jaguars now. The whole situation, if you're not following it, is kind of sketchy because the Bucs are like, hey, you can take interviews if you want, but like just know we're going to give you this big ass contract to make you the highest paid coordinator in the league. Okay. He goes to the Jags, does an interview, and then the Tampa Bay is like, all right, we're going to give you this contract. You're going to sign it, but you can't do any interviews now. Shit happens. It gets sketchy. Cohen then goes to the Jags. People find out that he's there, all this kind of shit. And then he signs on the dotted line, becomes a head coach. I don't know anything about this guy, but the videos that I'm seeing from him, it's giving me weird vibes. He seems like a super nice dude, but if you watch him in a press interview, he's like, Duval. It's just not, you got to say Duval, that kind of shit. You got to say it like that. You can't just say Duval. I don't know. And then I saw him dapping up Trevor Lawrence and some of the players. He's just a very soft-spoken guy, too. Look, obviously he might be the right guy for the job, but it's just giving me weird vibes. It's giving me cringe vibes. It's like, bro, what are we doing here? I don't know. I don't know, first-time head coach, so he's going to definitely have some murky waters. He's going to have to clear up. He's going to have to be transparent with all these guys. I don't know. Let's see if Jacksonville can actually do something first, get Trevor Lawrence healthy, get that offense rolling. Interesting. Just interesting. That's it. I just cringe vibes. I have nothing against the guy. I don't know how he's going to do as a head coach. I have no opinion on the thing. Just giving me cringy vibes. Funny, but cringy vibes. You know, you're like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's so cringy. You look at it, but you should look away, but you just can't. And it's like, Duval. Like, it's just like, just cringy. Just looping back, final thoughts on the Super Bowl. Again, next week we'll jump heavy into it, analyze it as much as we can at least. Right now, against Super Bowls in New Orleans, Eagles versus Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 1.5 points. I thought Josh Allen had a good game. I don't know if that's a hot take. Josh Allen is out 0-4 with like 9 TDs against playing Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the playoffs. I mean, the dude can't play any better. Again, at the beginning of the game, he threw a couple of sketchy balls. It was like, whoa, Josh, what are we doing? Let's rein it in and figure this shit out. I thought their run game was actually good. I know you look at the stats or the box score. It's like James Cook only got 4 touches in the first half. They ran the other guys too. They ran the younger guys. Now, I think they ran it really well. I think that their Bills are a good run team, but you know who's a great run team is the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to run all over this fucking Chiefs defense. Now, Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, dialed up some nasty blitzes. He knows how to prep for. He's a great game prepper. He knows how to blitz at the right time. He knows when to play man, all these kind of things. That last play in the Chiefs game for the Bills on offense, he drew up a nasty blitz. It was a slot corner blitz. Josh didn't see it coming. He backs up, throws a prayer to Kincaid. Should he have caught it? Yes. I think he definitely should have caught it. It was a very catchable ball. I know pressure of the moment probably seeps in just a little bit. It was cold. Field's probably not the most durable. But you got to come down with that ball. You hit your hands. It even hits your arm. I understand you're running up and you're running like a dig route and you see it and you're not a returner, so you don't know how to like catch it in there. But, man, it's not as bad as the Mark Andrews drop. Mark Andrews' drop was terrible. You feel bad for the guy. He had to post something on social media how bad he felt. So respect to Mark Andrews. But Kincaid, you got to catch that ball. Now people are pointing, oh, he should have just dumped it off Shakir. He had 2 people unblocked coming for his head. Now, you look at it, hindsight, yeah, he should have just dumped it off Shakir. He had a dig route coming on. No one was going with Shakir in the motion. Just dump it off. Or at least pre-snap, it looks like no one's going with Shakir. Or someone is with Shakir, I guess. But Josh has played a good game. He's always played a good game against the Chiefs. It's just you got to play your A-plus game. Now, do the Bills make a head coaching decision in the offseason? Do they get rid of Doug McDermott? All that kind of shit. I don't know. I legitimately have no idea. I think he's a good coach. Do you restart and rebuild from the ground up with a new head coach? I don't know. Now, for the Chiefs, Kelsey was quiet. Xavier Worthy had a big coming out game. Huge game for them. And, yeah, I don't get me wrong. I think the Chiefs have a very legitimate shot about three-peating, which here's my thoughts on it. I'd be okay with a three-peat. I'm not ecstatic about it. I don't want to see it happen. If anything, I want it to be my own team that three-peats, which, is crazy. It'd be amazing as an NFL fan and not a historian, but like to look back in 20 years and be like, I saw the three-peat happen. I was alive for the three-peat, that kind of shit. But on the other hand, I really want the Eagles to win. I'm a fly Eagles fly for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to start pulling stats out of my ass. I'm going to start tweeting Jalen Hurts, how great of a quarterback he is, all this kind of shit. Saquon, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, all, Kenneth Gainwell, all this kind of shit. I was thinking about it. We'll save it for next week, but we're going to break down the positions, who has the superior position, who lacks a little bit, all this kind of shit. But that's next week. Transitioning, just future thoughts, future show thoughts. We're going to get into some NBA heavier. We're going to get into college basketball heavier. I've mentioned it a little bit before. I'm going to have my buddy on here who's crazy college basketball fan. We're going to try to get a little duo going. Just ask him some questions. We'll bounce some thoughts off each other. But yeah, Beyond the Spread. Like, subscribe, comment. I'm on TikTok. This is on TikTok. This is on YouTube Shorts, Instagram. I should build a Twitter. Haven't built a Twitter yet, or X. But yeah, Beyond the Spread. Like, comment, subscribe. Till next week.